Hello students, welcome back. So in the last video, we had studied regarding the line spectrum of hydrogen and Bohr's model of an atom, the assumptions regarding the Bohr's theory, and we also studied how to calculate the energy and the radius for the given electron in an orbit. So now practically let us solve some of the problems based upon those equations. So coming to the first problem, what is the wavelength of the light emitted when the electron in an hydrogen atom undergo transition from energy level with n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2? So according to the Rydberg's formula, we have the equation to find out the wave number. So from the wave number we can find out the wavelength. So now the wave number, the Rydberg's formula is nothing but what? It is equal to nu bar, which is equal to RH into 1 upon n1 square minus 1 upon n2 square. So this is the Rydberg's formula. Now what is given is, what is the wavelength of the light emitted when the electron in an hydrogen atom undergo transition from an energy level n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 2. So in this case, from 4 to 2 it is jumping, means n1 is equal to 2 and n2 is nothing but it is equal to 4. So now considering n1 is equal to 2 and n2 is equal to 4. So we can substitute in this formula. So that is nu bar is equal to, the value of RH is nothing but it is 109,677 into 1 divided by n square is, n1 square is 2 square minus n2 square is 4 square. So when we are going to solve this one, we are going to get it in the form of 109,677 into 3 divided by 16, which is equal to 20564. This will be in terms of per centimeter. So this is nothing but it is the wave number nu bar. Now we can get the wavelength by making use of the wave number. As you know that wavelength is the reciprocal of the wave number. So therefore we have it as 1 by nu bar. 1 by nu bar, that is equal to the lambda, that is wavelength. So we are going to get it as 1 divided by 20564 per, this will be in terms of per centimeter when it comes to the numerator. So that will get converted into centimeter. So if you take it here as per centimeter, it is going to come above and it will be converted into the centimeter. So you are going to get it as 4.86 into 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter. Now you can convert this in terms of meter. So centimeter, when you convert it into the meter, you are going to get it as 4.86 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. Then this can also be converted into nanometer. So if you are going to convert this, shift these 2 points towards the right, you will get 10 raised to minus 2. So when you take 10 raised to minus 2 here, minus 7 minus 2 will be equal to minus 9. So you can convert it as 486 nanometer. So the value of the wavelength is nothing but it is 486 nanometer. So now let us take the next example. Now the next example says that the energy associated with the first orbit in the hydrogen atom is minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joules. In this case for per atom, then what is the energy associated with the fifth orbit? They have given the energy of the first orbit. They are asking the energy of the fifth orbit. Also, calculate the radius of Bohr's fifth orbit for the hydrogen atom. So here they are asking the energy as well as the radius of the fifth orbit. Now coming to the energy. Now energy, as you know that we have the expression En is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 Z square divided by N square in terms of joules. So this is the energy, so it is taken in terms of joules. So here Z stands for the atomic number and N stands for the orbit. So since we have taken it as the hydrogen atom, Z will be equal to 1 and it is considered for the fifth orbit, so N is equal to 5. So now let us take the energy equation. So En is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 Z square divided by N square. So this is the equation for the energy. Now we have to take Z is equal to 1 because it is hydrogen atom whose atomic number is equal to 1. Z stands for atomic number. Whereas N is the fifth orbit. So we are going to consider N is equal to 5. This energy will be in terms of joules. So let us take the substitution. So E of 5 is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 into Z is equal to 1 whole divided by 5 square. So when you are going to do this calculation, it comes out to be equal to, here we are going to consider it as the minus sign. So you are going to get it as minus 8.72 into 10 raised to minus 20 joules. So this is how we have the energy which is being associated with the fifth orbit of the hydrogen atom. So now let us consider the equation of the radius. So the radius equation is for any of the atomic number and for a given orbit is Ra is equal to 52.9 N square divided by Z in terms of picometer. Since we are looking for N is equal to 5, Z is equal to 1, that is atomic number is equal to 1 for hydrogen atom and the orbit is the fifth orbit. So N is equal to 5. So now let us substitute this one. So Ra is equal to 52.9 into N square is what? It is 5 square divided by Z is equal to what? It is equal to 1. So therefore on calculating we are going to get it as 52.9 into 5 raised to 2, that is equal to 1322.5 picometer. So you are going to get this one in terms of picometer. If you want, you can convert it in terms of nanometer. So if you're converting in terms of nanometer, this point is going to shift over here. So you're going to get it as 1.3225 nanometer. So in this way, you can convert one form into another. So picometer means what? 1 picometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 12 meter. Whereas 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So these conversions should be known to you. So therefore, we have the radius of the fifth orbit of the hydrogen equal to almost 1.3225 nanometer. So in this way, we can calculate the radius as well as the energy of the given atom and the orbit. So now let us calculate the other problem. Let us calculate the wave number for the longest wavelength transition in the Balmer series of atomic hydrogen. See, they are asking what? The wave number for the longest wavelength. So longest wavelength should be known to you first, then only we will be able to know about the wave number of that longest wavelength. Then when this longest wavelength is obtained, see, in the Balmer series, the longest wave transition is when n is equal to n2 is equal to 3 and n1 is equal to 2. So you know that Balmer series n1 is necessarily 2. So when the lower ground state is n1 is equal to 2, the higher energy state can be 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So the longest wavelength will correspond to what? To n2 is equal to 3. Why this will come like that? You can check it. So these two are coming in the denominator part. So lower the value in the denominator, greater will be the numerator value. So the wavelength what you are going to get, the wave number what you are going to get will be higher in case if this denominator part is less. So now you can just check out for the Balmer series, the longest wavelength transition is from where when N2 is equal to 3 and N1 is equal to 2. So let us substitute in this given equation. So according to this equation, nu bar is equal to RH into 1 upon N1 square minus 1 upon N2 square. This is in terms of per centimeter. So as you know, the value of RH in terms of per centimeter is 109677 into 1 upon N1 square is how much? It is equal to 2. So 1 divided by 2 square minus 1 upon the 3 square. So here you are going to get 1 upon 2 square minus 1 upon 3 square. On calculating this one, on solving, you are going to get the value equal to 15 to 33 per centimeter. So you can also convert it in terms of what? 1.5233 into 10 raised to 4 per centimeter. Or if you want, you can convert it in terms of per meter. So how can you convert it into per meter? You can include 2 more zeros to it. So 1.5233 into 10 raised to, instead of plus 4, we are taking it as plus 6. Why? Because we are converting centimeter into meter. So for that reason, you can take it as plus 6. Otherwise, if there is a confusion, you can keep it as it is in terms of 15233 per centimeter. So in this way, we can find out the wavelength. So in this case, after knowing the transition, that is the longest wavelength will be for N1 is equal to 2 and N2 is equal to 3. The wave number corresponding to it will be equal to what? 15233 per centimeter, or it is also equal to 1.5233 into 10 raised to 6 per meter. So this is the way in which you can solve. So remember about the longest wavelength possible in the Balmer series. So after knowing the equation of the energy and the Bohr's radius, so now let us take a look of the limitations of the Bohr's model of an atom. Now what is going to happen? Though Bohr has explained several facts, still there were certain limitations. So what are the limitations then? So Bohr's theory failed to explain the spectra of atom having more than one electron. So whatever the model of the atom was proposed by Bohr was only limited to hydrogen or hydrogen-like atom. Hydrogen with atomic number 1. Hydrogen-like atom means those species which have only one electron system. For example, He+. In this case, what happens? He will have 2 electrons. He plus will be having only 1 electron. So therefore, it is like hydrogen-like species which is having 1 electron. So other than hydrogen, hydrogen-like species like He plus or lithium with atomic number 3, there will be 3 electrons. If 2 electrons are removed, it will be Li2 plus. Or if you are going to take beryllium with atomic number 4, so you are going to remove 3 electrons, so it is 3 plus. So only those system which has 1 electron in it, only for that this theory was applicable. So this is the major drawback. Next to that one, it fails to account for the finer lines, that is the doublet, by using the sophisticated spectroscopic techniques. Now in this case, what is going to happen? When an higher grade or sophisticated instrument, that is the spectroscope, is used, in that case, even those fine lines which was seen, those fine lines were going to split again. What does that mean? So whatever these lines were seen, so these lines, when it was seen through an highly sophisticated spectrometer, it was seen that this line is further splitting. So this, why it is splitting, could not be explained on the basis of Bohr's theory. Apart from that one, the Bohr's theory does not explain the splitting up of the spectral lines in presence of the magnetic field, which is also called as the Zeeman effect, or in an electric field which is called as the Stark effect. Means what? Whatever these lines were seen, these lines are going to further split into finer lines when it is placed either in the magnetic field or in the electric field. When it is placed in the magnetic field, the splitting is called as the Zeeman effect. If at all it is placed in the electric field, the effect is called as the Stark effect. So these lines are further splitting in presence of the magnetic field or in presence of the electric field. So this splitting could not be explained on the basis of Bohr's theory. Next to that one more drawback. It could not explain the ability of an atom to form molecule by chemical bond. Now this is the most important concept. Why the chemical bond is formed? Why the atoms are going to combine? So this has to be explained. When it could not explain why the atoms are able to combine to form the molecule by means of a chemical bond, this was the major drawback why the Bohr's theory could not sustain. Next to that one, it could not account for the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and de Broglie's dual nature of electron. So these are some of the drawbacks of the Bohr's theory or Bohr's model of an atom. So here what happens, there was a concept called as the uncertainty principle, which was given by the Heisenberg, as well as the dual nature of the electron. We had spoken about the dual nature of the electromagnetic radiation. In the same way, we also have the dual nature of the electron. So this was given by de Broglie. So these two concepts were also not explained on the basis of the Bohr's model of the atom. So to explain this one, the next concept was towards the quantum mechanical model of the atom. To overcome the Bohr's theory, that is the drawback, the quantum mechanical model was developed. This was based on the two important contributions, that is what? The dual behavior of the matter by de Broglie and the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So now let us take one by one and let us know what is meant by the dual behavior of the matter as well as the uncertainty principle. So this we shall deal it in the next video. Thank you.